Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. Now, last Thursday, we were greeted with an early Christmas gift as we received the reveal trailer at the Game Awards for an upcoming Star Wars game out of Quantum Dream titled Star Wars Eclipse, which is set in the High Republic era. Now, if you are like us here at Lunar Squadron, you have watched this trailer dozens of times, scouring over it, trying to find every little detail you possibly can within this trailer. We noticed two things that were out of place, namely this ship and this ship. Now in this video, we're going to go over why these ships should, but most likely should not be in this trailer according to the official Disney Star Wars canon. But before we get into all of this, we have a brief message from our official sponsor, Bosk.
That's right. Nick and I are going to be sharing our opinions about this brand new Star Wars Eclipse, so we thought it'd be appropriate to ask Bosk. Bosk, let us all know, what do you think about the new trailer? Did you like it?
The bounty is accepted. You are my prey.
Alright, Bosk, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that means you like it or not, but, you know, can't wait to play it with you. Anyways, Nick, ready to get into this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, let's do this. Alright, so just like Nick just said in our intro, there were really two ships that were definitely out of place in this trailer, most notably first the Lucrehulk droid control ship that you could see right here in the trailer, and then secondly, the landing ship, which you could see right here in the trailer. Now we're going to go through and explain to you guys exactly what we mean by out of place, and it all really does start with Episode 1. This game, we know from the front page of this game's website that it takes place in the High Republic era, which means that it must take place between 330 BBY and 82 BBY. We know that Episode 1 was about 50 years after the High Republic ended. Episode 1 is in 33 BBY. Now, Nick, what do we kind of get from that date, 33 BBY, and why does Episode 1 play into this?
Yeah, so the Phantom Menace and the date 33 BBY is so important for two reasons. One, like you said, it is 50 years after the conclusion of the High Republic era. It is not set during the High Republic. That is a long time, 50 years. The second reason this is important is because the Phantom Menace, the blockade of Naboo, this is the first time canonically that the droid army is deployed by the Trade Federation, and this is all according to the Star Wars Complete Visual Dictionary, which was released in 2018 under the Disney umbrella. So it is Disney canon. Let's talk about the Lucrehulk class ship. Now, yes, originally this ship was designed as a freight ship. It was a cargo ship. But the Trade Federation, seeing that they needed to increase their military presence, decided to modify the ship. Now, why did they modify the ship and what did they modify it for? Now, like I said, originally this was designed to haul freight, but it was modified in secret to house the droid armies of the Trade Federation. This is all according to the Star Wars Ships of the Galaxy book, which was released in 2015 as a part of the Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens. So yes, another Disney Star Wars canon book.
So I think this kind of begs the question, are the Lucrehulks that we see in this trailer the Lucrehulks which were prepped for warfare, for, like you said, housing the droid armies, which deploy first in 33 BBY, or are these the freight ships, which the Trade Federation used as far back as, I guess, the origin of the Trade Federation, possibly, which was in 350 BBY, a mere 20 years into the High Republic? And the answer is pretty clear from this trailer, guys. The Lucrehulk, or droid command ships that we see in this trailer, are clearly used for warfare. They are the retrofitted cargo ships because you can see, first of all, they are in the middle of battle in this trailer. And second of all, these ships are clearly fitted with the turbo lasers that Nick mentioned as reference in Ships of the Galaxy, were added to these ships to secretly house and defend the droid armies on board. And that's not all of the evidence that we have showing that these Lucrehulks that are featured in this trailer were solely used for the purpose of transporting droids and ships that carry those droids, right, Nick?
You are absolutely correct, Andreas. That is not the only evidence that we have about these Lucrehulk class battleships being designed for the droid army. If you take a look at Star Wars Complete Vehicles, which was written by Pablo Hidalgo, which, if you don't know who Pablo Hidalgo is, he is basically the founder of the Star Wars story group at Lucasfilm, who is in charge of keeping the canon flowing the right way, no loose ends, making sure everything is tight and in order. That is their job, and he was the founder. In a book that he released a new edition of back in 2020 called Star Wars Complete Vehicles, Incredible Cross-Sections, we see that the Lucrehulk class battleships are referred to as droid control ships. These ships were designed from their freight ships, modified from their freight ships to be the droid control ships, according to official Star Wars canon just as recent as last year. So, to kind of wrap all of this up before we jump into the landing ship, the big problems that we have here is that this game is set during the High Republic. Now, in the trailer, we see clear shots of these Lucrehulk class ships being used in battle as battleships with turbo lasers. These are clearly battleships, they are not freight ships. However, that does not make much sense because at this point in time, the Trade Federation would not be using the droid armies. That is just not what they would be using. They would be using standard military means. So, why then are there droid battleships in the High Republic era when the droid armies and the ships used to deploy said droid armies are not first deployed until the Phantom Menace, which takes place 50 years after the High Republic? So there are just some inconsistencies here in the timeline, and this game appears to be rewriting some of what we know as official Star Wars canon from the Disney era. Now, the other ship that we want to talk about in this video, which we have mentioned already, is the landing ship. Now, Andreas, I gotta ask, why is the landing ship out of place?
So, the landing ship is out of place because when we turn again to a canonical source, which has the Disney stamp on it, Star Wars Complete Vehicles, Incredible Cross-Sections, that's that 2020 Pablo Hidalgo novelization, well, it's not really a novel, but book, it's more of an encyclopedia, I guess, which outlines some very important information about not only the Lucrehulk, which we've talked about, but also the landing ships. In that book, the landing ship was said to be related in design to commercial cargo barges in the trade fleet. These huge double-wing ships were built for the sole purpose of transporting armored assault tanks, troop carriers, and MTTs. Now, what is so important about this sentence is that MTTs are those ships which exclusively were used for housing and deploying droid forces. And what's more, the second of those things that the landing ships were carrying were these troop carriers. What sort of troop carriers were these? Well, they look exactly like this. They are driven by battle droids, housing more battle droids. So we do know that these landing ships are also very much fitted for both deploying and transporting droid armies which were not deployed until 50 years following the events of the High Republic, ergo 50 years following the events of Star Wars Eclipse, which makes it very interesting as to why both the landing ship and the Lucrehulk are present throughout this trailer, which definitely happens during the High Republic. It definitely makes you think, is Disney advising this this writing here and this project and signing off on rewrites of their canon, hoping that people won't notice? Or did they just not notice themselves and kind of slipped up in their continuity? I mean, what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I just kind of want to reiterate some points that you made, mainly with the landing ship, about how its sole purpose, that is a strong phrase that they use in this book, sole purpose was to transport AATs, troop carriers, and MTTs. All three are droid vehicles. Now, in regards to the MTT, I think it is important to note that according to official canon of this book, these ships were designed for the Trade Federation, for their droid armies. These MTTs were designed for the droid armies. Like, they weren't designed for anything else. So, all three of the vehicles that the landing ships are designed, the whole purpose of the landing ship is to transport droid army and droid army related ships. So that poses the question, why the hell are there landing ships being deployed in the High Republic era when those ships are designed for the sole purpose of transporting the droid army? Why? Like, there is a disconnect here. So, Andreas, to really answer your original question, I'm not quite sure why they're rewriting Star Wars canon here. Maybe they are just, they have every right to do it. They own the IP now. And at the end of the day, is it that big of a deal? No, but it is a little interesting to see these inconsistencies and kind of retcons when it comes to the history in Star Wars. It definitely raises a lot of interesting questions as to what else will Disney change the backstory of in the future. And we're just going to have to wait to find out. Perhaps we'll find out some more answers in Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point, Nick. I mean, who really gives a shit? These are just ships, in Star Wars, and we're just a bunch of nerds that are pointing at these encyclopedias. Who really cares about the encyclopedias, right? I mean, there's probably a lot of you guys. Yeah, there's probably a lot of you guys who are watching this video and thinking that Nick and I are being nitpicky with this whole thing. However, as Nick said, there is a department of people who really do get paid to make sure that there are no holes or gaps in the continuity of all of these Star Wars products which are being released in the public and building onto that ongoing Star Wars narrative and timeline. And I just want to say one thing, because I know this is going to come up. This is not given in a negative connotation. We're not trying to criticize them. We're mainly just making this video to point it out as it's an interesting thing that is happening in this game. It's more so to point this out as an observation. This isn't us trying to dog on Disney or Lucasfilm games or anything. Like, this is not done in a negative connotation. So before you go yelling at us in the comments, we're not doing this to start fights or anything. This is just us pointing out some of the inconsistencies that we're getting coming into this game. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this kind of poses some very interesting questions. There's really one main point of conflict in what we've described here today, and it really is that sentence in the visual dictionary which lays out, in a canonical book, that the droids were not deployed until they were first deployed in Episode 1. Is Star Wars Eclipse going to be rewriting that? Are we going to see the history of the droids reach back towards the High Republic era? Or are they going to, have some sort of alternative explanation as to why these battleships, both the Lucrehulk and those landing ships, are they going to have alternative reasons as to why they are present in battle under Trade Federation control far before the deployment of the droid army? They're going to have to really answer one or two of those questions. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of all of this. Are you comfortable with Quantic Dream sort of rewriting, obviously, under the advisement of Lucasfilm and their creative team? Are you comfortable with them rewriting things like these encyclopedias, or do you not really give a shit and you just kind of think that these encyclopedias are neat to show these, cross sections of ships, but beyond that, we shouldn't really be pointing to lines and kind of raising flags whenever these things trip over one another? Let us know in the comments down below, and of course, let us know if you guys are excited about Quantic Quantic Dream's new Star Wars Eclipse. I know both Nick and I are totally refreshed, finally seeing some brand new Star Wars gaming content. Nick, how good is it to see that Lucasfilm Games logo pop up on the screen again, especially at an event as big as the Game Awards? I know for me, like, this gets me super excited for Lucasfilm Games. We're finally seeing some things, right?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see Lucasfilm starting to make Star Wars games again. Now, whether or not we agree with the studios that they are choosing and the decisions they are making, that is a conversation for a whole nother video. We all have our opinions about what has happened and what is going to happen, but at the end of the day, yes, it is nice to see some brand new Star Wars games being made.
Yeah, and, you know, here's to hoping that Quantic Dream, despite any of those issues, kind of pulls through and makes a game that is really worth playing and that we all really do sink our teeth into and fall in love with the story that they're trying to tell in this galaxy that we all really do care about and want to learn more about. That said, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please do feel welcome to hit the subscribe button, join the Lunar Squadron, and like this video. Actually, that said, guys, if you do those two things and leave a Q&A comment in the comments down below, you will be enrolled to win a Lego set, particularly a Star Wars Lego set from the Lunar Squadron, and we will be giving out that Lego set at our next Q&A video, where you ask us any questions about the channel, what we'll be covering on the channel, or Nick and my takes on Star Wars things, even, very trivial things like encyclopedias and the Star Wars canon. So feel free to participate in that. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all next time.